Hello, Ivan. Brad, you're good with roll call still? Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Brad, you good? Wonderful. All right, Quinn, whenever you're ready.
That is a false alarm.
False alarm. Okay, the time is 4:33. I call this meeting to order. Welcome to our General Assembly meeting, Madison College Student Senate. This is a public meeting and will be recorded for transparency and record keeping purposes. We're going to cover a few basic items before we begin. If you lose connection at any point during the meeting, you can reconnect by clicking the link or calling the number in your original email to senators and supporting staff, online members. If you're able, please activate your video and keep it on for the duration of this meeting. Please use the raise hand feature when you'd like to be recognized to speak. I'll do my best to monitor for hands online and voices in the chat as well. So when you want to ask questions, vote, or make a motion. I'll now turn it over to VP Burt to perform a roll call.
President Quinn Mattson.
Present.
Vice President of Legislative Affairs, David Burt. President excused, Jose Villarreal. Interim President Mattson overseeing the meeting. Vice President of Public Relations Committee,
Present.
Advisory Report. Senators. List of senators.
Yeah, Brad. Do you want me to reject the takeover for this?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure. All right, so no problem. So we'll go to senators now. So Senator Jagadish.
Present.
Senator Larson.
Present.
Senator Sharafadine.
Present.
Senator Sullivan Richgills. I've not heard anything in blue line. Not attending. Okay, we will mark as absent for now. Senator Sturtzel.
Present.
Awesome. Senator Crowder.
Present.
Senator Batulga.
Present.
Senator Bauer.
Present.
Senator Avila. Senator Brunner. Sarah, are you there?
I'm here.
Thank you. Siri's on me,
So
man.
Siri.
Awesome. Going to regional metro campuses. Portage Senator McCray.
Present.
Did I say that right?
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay.
Goodman South Senator Joaquin Lariva, believe absent. I've not heard anything of you, Quinn.
No.
Okay, absent. And then Reedsburg Senator Sundar.
Present.
Awesome. Quorum is met.
Okay. Now that we have done roll call, I'd like to quickly review the previous meeting minutes. Go. This was on July 10th. We were in the wrong building, but we're back. If you are online, you can look on your screen at the meeting minutes. In person, you have paper that's also on the screen in front of you.
And just to note for the future, whether you're attending in person or not, we always include the minutes in the agenda and the email that's sent out, so you can always have those available as well, so everybody knows. And they are in the SharePoint.
Something I'd like to note from last meeting was that I gave a report from the Student Activities Board, which was followed by some discussion. I followed up on that via email.
Senator Crowder has her hand raised.
Senator Crowder,
Motion to approve.
we have a motion to approve. Do I have a second? I second. Second from Senator Zerzel. I'd like to entertain any discussion.
Good.
Thank you.
No, you got it. You good? I'm gonna stop sharing.
Seeing none in person, are you seeing any discussion in the chat? Okay, none in person, none in the chat. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve this unanimously.
So vote by unanimous approval.
Vote by unanimous
Okay, Bruce, just want to make sure.
Thank you.
No problem. Don't hear anything. It passes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Motion passed. Thank you, Cole.
No problem. Always your help.
Okay, having approved the previous meeting minutes, we're going to read and approve this meeting's agenda on the screen now. Notably included are public comments from Ellie Rome, Sean Green. We will not have a team building activity today. Filled positions may have reports. And then we have 2 presentations. They're marked as one item under new business. And then there will be a discussion of our next meeting with Dr. Byrne and filling our vacancies.
Senator Crowder up in the chat, move to approve minutes. Agenda, please.
Okay,
Second.
I have a first and a second from Ari Nichols. Do I hear any discussion on the approval of this meeting's agenda? Seeing nothing in chat, which I've now made my way to. I'd like to entertain can you help me with the phrase?
Vote by unanimous approval.
I'd like to entertain a vote by unanimous approval.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
Yeah.
So if you dissent, please voice it. Otherwise, this will pass in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Motion passed. Okay, we're now moving on to public comments.
So yes, for today, we have the privilege of Director of Student Life, Ellie Rome, the former advisor to Senate, and Associate Program Advisor Sean Green, a former 2-year president of Senate, here to talk with us today, tell us a little bit about their experience of working with Senate and what made it so successful under them. So, come on up and the floor will be yours. I don't know if that meeting up. We just didn't know.
We're gonna sit over here. Make this less formal. Again,
Yes.
I like the new name tags. They look nice.
You look good.
All right, so I was the student senate advisor from 2018 through the end of 2023 calendar year. So I left mid-year to become the director of student life that year. And Sean also served as the interim advisor during that period before Cole started. So I have, I guess, 5-ish years of experience of working with the student senate. 2 of those were very much COVID years, which is when Sean and I were working together. So that's me. Who are you?
So Sean here, I was the student senate president for 2020 to 2022. I started as general senator in November of 2019. And then went to the legislative seminar in February. And
Got this crazy idea.
to be the president, and then I went for it, and it happened. And so Yeah, it was definitely all during COVID. Then and I was my advisor. And then I spent one additional year, half a year, just as a general senator to kind of carry it, carry things out, right? So, and then I think didn't do anything for that, maybe a good other half a semester before things slowly then went into becoming the, interim advisor before Cole. So, yeah, that's kind of my story.
And going way back, when I was an undergrad, I was really involved with student government. So I was the equivalent of a general senator for a year and then spent 2 years as kind of sort of vice president, admin and finance. It was just the vice president, but handled all of the funding stuff. And that was the group that really made decisions about all of the club funding on campus. So I have for a long time wanted to get back to working with student government and was very thrilled when his position opened up. So back in 2018. So I came up with just kind of some general advice. Happy to take questions as well. And Sean hasn't really seen this advice, but he's going to chime in or add your own.
Yeah.
So it's kind of random. There's no rhyme or reason to the order of things, but the first thing I thought of is just follow through with every concern. So I was looking back at some sort of remarks that I used to make at the very last meeting, the swearing in ceremony, and talking about all of the things that the Senate had accomplished. And one of the things that I remember standing out was one of the presidents, immediately after Sean, was just so adamant that every single concern needed to be followed up on, whether it came in through email, someone came into the Senate office, they just heard a whiff of a concern and started looking into it. That really made a difference, right? So you, some of you probably have access to the Student Senate email. I don't know if everybody does, but there's a lot of random stuff that comes in there, and some of it feels like this is probably only a concern for one student, but for that one student, it's going to make a difference. So really just being sure that you're taking everything seriously and following through. If you say, I'll look into that for you, or I'll bring this concern to someone, do it and then follow back up with them. So that was kind of my first thing.
I mean, yeah, I think it's like the small things, right, have really big meaning. So, I mean, there were times that there were things that we particularly couldn't get done or we couldn't do, but we still either stayed there and listened to the concern, right? And we fully showed that we were serious about at least hearing, like if we couldn't come up with a solution that day, we were there just to be someone that they could vent to, right? We serve them, right? This is what that job is, right? So, but yeah, if there's a potential way, you gotta make sure that you're at least doing everything that you can, using your resources, using your advisor, and trusting the process. But a lot of the really, truthfully, a lot of the senators that were started off as senators, then became officers. A lot of those were conversations about, I don't like how this went, or I don't like how this went, and I listened, and then it became encouraged, and then they felt empowered, right? And they saw a leader in themselves. So I mean, your voice and your ability to stand there. And I think my biggest compliments was that during COVID, I would still, I mean, there was a lockdown for a while, but when I could come back into the Senate office and I opened up that door, I always had the Senate office open because I believe that was really welcoming. I had someone tell me that they knew that when that door was open that I was in there, and that how much it meant to them that I was there. I was there for them, right? So, and I was kind of taken back when I had heard that we were campaigning for for Wilford when Wilford took over. But yeah, it was just really meaningful that I wasn't expecting to hear it, but it really reassured that I did do everything right. So just always take it seriously and know that these students, they need an outlet. You're that outlet, right? So you can help them.
That ties into another thing I thought of using the Senate office. Spend time in there. I think that I really saw what we were missing when we couldn't do that.
Yeah.
And Sean did a great job of creating that virtual space for people to connect, but it was not the same as sitting in the Senate office,
No.
working on your homework, like things come up, right? And you form relationships in ways that you wouldn't otherwise, like sitting in a formal meeting using Robert's rules, you're not really building relationships. So just spending time in the Senate office makes all the difference in the world, and respecting that space and making sure that it's a place where people feel like they should be spending time, that they know they can come there if they have a concern, whether it's someone affiliated with Senate or not. So that was definitely one of the pieces of advice I had. Go where the students are. Don't spend all of your energy creating your own events. Go where the students already are. You are not an organization that is charged with putting on events. You are charged with advocating for students. So find ways to go where they're at, hear their voices, make yourself visible as a student senator or officer in Senate, and don't spend too much time planning your own stuff. Because there's already so many things happening on campus and so many groups that are really good at that, and they have advisors who love planning events. He doesn't. So just take advantage of that, because I think there were a couple years where I saw the Senate really try to do too much, and I think it took away from that ability to just listen to students and advocate. They were spending just so much time trying to put on their own stuff, like events at the end of the semester for stress less stuff, and fundraisers for pantries off campus, and just all these things that they wanted to do and were good,
Yeah.
but didn't help with that advocacy piece. I think that.
Man, yeah, I don't know, I would say, well, like regional campuses, right? Like, it's not exactly easy to always get, either if you do drive, getting down there, right? Or, finding time on your schedule, or whatnot, but I mean, yeah, those, your students there, right? And Linda was, one of the team, VP of team development, and was the speaker for the year that we graduated. And I mean, she was a Watertown student, right? That she was not, prior to her seeing us show up to that event, she wasn't interested in Senate. So, but I mean, she got interested because she was seeing that, you know, like we were
Yeah,
there,
Tagged
right?
along with the
Yeah.
campus fun day,
Yeah.
playing plans, not at that point, but now plans.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, I mean, go when there's already stuff happening. Don't try to plan your own event at a regional campus unless a regional senator wants to do that. That makes sense. But like there are a lot of things already happening. Just jump on board.
we one time did a radio thing, for Goodman South. Because we knew that we had a specific population that we were not identifying with, and so we went on. Luckily, we had somebody who spoke Spanish, and we were able to pass along a message and say, "Hey, reach out." But I mean, that's part of it, right? Like, you represent so many different types of students, so even though you stand for something, you represent a lot more than what you really know, right? And so you kind of have to put yourself and check it in place and just, be there. So, yeah.
My next thing is focus on fewer issues and see them through. So what is it that you want your legacy to be as the 60 whatever Senate we're on now? Fourth? So what is your legacy going to be? And if you all can get kind of on the same page about what that is, focus your energy there. Not to say that you can't also support other smaller things that are happening, but if you are split between 5 major initiatives, you're not going to put a dent in any of them. And hopefully we're getting to you early enough that you can kind of see that before you get too far. There's lots of energy and momentum and excitement now, once you get into the fall, classes start back up again and life happens and just bite-sized pieces to try to make an impact on one major area. That's my advice. I haven't had a Senate take that advice yet, so maybe I'll give you one.
Just listen to me, please.
Yep. I mean, not to say that there wasn't significant momentum on some issues. My very first year, the Student Senate did a survey on food security. And it really opened up the eyes of administrators. They had no idea that so many students were struggling with homelessness and food insecurity. You wouldn't believe it now because we talk about it all the time. But at the time, that story, that data, like, was shocking to the college president and the cabinet. And to be honest, for a little while, they were embarrassed by it. So that leads into the next one, focusing on one issue because they did that well, but using research and data. So because of that survey, because the Senate really put all of their effort behind that one singular issue, they got students to actually take the survey in a meaningful number. It was like 2,000 students or something, which is significant. We have a pantry now. We have a pantry on more than one campus. That never would have happened without that focus on a singular issue and getting the data. I still get asked for those survey results now. It's true. That they want a comparison because now the college knows that this is an issue, has resources behind it, and they're doing their own surveys and want to benchmark against what the Student Senate did back in 2018. So you have that ability to really make a big difference if you put that energy into something in that way. Oh, so another thing to just think about is what do you want your relationship as the Student Senate to look like with our new president? That was already very much established before I started. I don't know what exactly it looked like as Dr. Daniels started 2013. But when I started, it was a pretty positive relationship with the cabinet. They were in their second year, I think, of attending meetings regularly. And I'm confident that there was a lot of work put in at the beginning of Dr. Daniels' term to really build that positive relationship. So I think that's really important, especially for the officer team, because you have more of that ability to connect directly. But then taking advantage of when she comes, which I think is your next meeting. Is that true? And beyond. I know for a fact that she wants to connect with students, and that in her last position as the provost, she said she regularly talked with the student government there. So she believes that this is important. So just take advantage of that and really have a good conversation later after we're gone about kind of how you want that to go and how you're going to use that time with her. Because I think that first initial time with her will really set the stage for something great. Any related thoughts to that one? Those two things I didn't ask in between.
Senate stands for something, so show up. If you're on it's okay not to show up when there are things that come up, right? But if you commit to something, you not showing up hurts Senate, and that hurts your ability to help students, right? So if you're on something, show up to it. Be respectful. You can still advocate, you can still be passionate, but you want to be treated and shown like an adult, somebody has the responsibility of being, serving a bunch of students. It's about how you present yourself and how you carry yourself, right? And so just, take that time to, just be respectful, but show up. And it actually does a lot more than you think just by coming, saying, I'm going to come to this meeting, even if there wasn't anything to do. But I'm a member, students don't usually get these opportunities, right? So you have opportunities to be a part of things that have been chiseled out specifically for seats for Senate. It's a big thing. And I know that other colleges, technical colleges, don't have that same exact relationship. And so it is very meaningful to have that. And I mean, it's a direct line to the, cabinet, to the president. But yeah, they will notice that, and they will, I mean, they will treat you differently. They will look at you differently, and they will respect you back on what you're serious about when you're talking about. They won't just brush it off. They'll take it in real consideration. So.
All right, that was my advice.
Thank you.
Questions, comments?
I'll start.
Yeah.
I'll ask a question real quick, sort of a general one. What do you see as the biggest pitfall or issue that new senators have that you think could be avoided if they knew about it?
Overcommitting to things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coming in with enthusiasm is a great thing, but pace yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things go slow, but they go
Yeah.
slow for a reason, right? Like there has to be feedback. Everyone has to be able to give their opinion at the table, right? So you need to get, so yeah, I mean, that was my biggest struggle as president. I was super excited. I wanted to do a bunch of things, and every time I was super excited, Ellie was there to slow me down, right? But I'm happy that she did that, because then I was able to maybe take a little bit more time and do a little bit more research, or have, understand.
right way.
Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, just because it's easy to commit to it, but then, yeah, when the fall comes on, like, remember your academics are the most important thing. So if you committed and people think you're going to show up again, you have to show up, but you really have to know when you can't take on something, right? So just understand that, yeah, that pace yourself, and just reasonable expectations.
So I'm just curious because I really admire the amount of just like connecting with the student body. I think that's what we've been lacking, at least for the past Senate. I know that we were really struggling connecting with the student body on an individual level. We were passing a lot of policies and doing a lot of resolutions, which is all great, but I feel like we were assuming like what the students needed, or we did it out of like someone's personal bias or blah, blah, blah. So I want to just touch up on just how did you guys, like beyond being just like showing up, what would you advise us to do in terms of like, because we're trying to figure out different outreach for engagement ideas. We don't want to throw like this huge shebang, because obviously there's a budget that you need to, fall into, but we want to be sure that we're showing up in respects of just like for our student body, making student governance engaging. Because not everybody's psyched about student governance. They totally understand. So how did you make, student governance, fair governance, something, exciting for the student body to engage in?
Way back when I first started, Senate used to just randomly get coffee and breakfast things and hand them out at the doors of the buildings, just to kind of open up, hey, we're here, and had a sign or something about like, we're here for student concerns, or I don't remember exactly what it said, but just physically being present in a positive way where you're not looking for anything, and in fact, you're giving things away, really, I think helped with that positive image. And then when people thought of a concern, encountered something they wanted changed, they thought back, oh yeah, maybe this is something that the Senate could help with. So I think it's getting out there just on a regular basis and making those one-on-one connections, and that positive image of the Senate logo, of, things like that the jackets, the shirts, that they think of that when something doesn't go well, because you're probably unlikely to catch them in the exact moment of having a town hall the day that something goes wrong, right? And usually it's something has gone wrong when there's something to advocate for.
Cool. We're gonna go to the next. First, I want to make sure we're still doing good on time.
Oh, 4 minutes left.
4 minutes left. Okay, cool. We can extend if needed. Annette, you have the floor.
So I pretty much stuck mine in chat. Director Rome, I was wondering if we could get access, if it could be sent out to this, the Senate, to the Q&A that she did with the students, from the student questions, as well as, I thought there was another Q&A that she did that kind of, told employees about herself. I don't know if that would be appropriate for everyone, but I just feel like it might help us to formulate questions and not to be redundant on things that she's already covered and put out information on. And I also just wanted to
Yes.
throw out real quick that I think I've told you this before, Ellie, but I joined Student Senate because of you. Because I came in there and you were very like accommodating and didn't like treat me like the plague. When I'm like, can I have the 3-year plan? Just out of
Give
the
me the
blue.
status of BSU.
Yep.
Yes.
I just wanted to know what was going on in the school about things that I cared about and was interested in. So thank you.
And here you are, of course. Yes, so there are some recorded videos that you should be able to access with your student employee email. The Clarion also did some articles that might be a good place to start, even if you're in this meeting and you wanted to take a look at those, because that really provides the high level of kind of who she is, where she's coming from. Not her individual answers, but they covered her Q&A. They covered all of the Q&As with all of the final candidates. And they did an article when she was announced that has some good information there. So you should be able to find that on the Clarion website. Or walk into the hall. It's on the most recent issue.
Specifically, Sean, you had mentioned, regional campus,
Mhm.
which campus?
Oh, well, the Linda one was Watertown, but, I mean,
And what did you notice, like, that
well,
was different from
different in terms
the
of.
main campus?
Well, I mean, they have, every campus, Truax is its own like environment and its own like ecosystem, right? Like, every those other campuses, right? They're different in their own way, and knowing how to, or at least identifying that they are different and that they have their own pace that you kind of have to, move with is gonna help you at knowing how to really address and deal with them, right? Like even just like knowing who's who over there, right? And then that way you know who you can talk to and then maybe set something up. Or I think it was really great that last year there was a lot of work, a lot of students wanting to talk about at Watertown, right? Like I think that was actually huge, really. I mean, I don't think that's ever been done before. Where that, but we want those campuses to feel that they're an extension of Truax. We're all the same campus, we all we're part of the same community. We're all Madison College students, and you know, I'm just thinking in terms of it's a lot easier to uh, accidentally make someone feel like they're not part of something than it is to generally make them feel like they are. So, continuously try to put effort into that, and having good representation is always going to help with that, right? So, yeah.
And related to that, Sean mentioned this, but the staff at each of the regional campuses are the best people to connect to. They are awesome. If you're a regional campus senator, also connect with Peng in our office.
Yep.
Hang.
Peng Zhang, yeah, she is the one who's out there at each regional campus every month. So jumping on board with the events that she's planning, a great idea.
Your last question.
So connecting with our regional campuses, did you guys visit regional campuses, just to connect with the student body? Because that's something that we are trying to gauge an idea of, like, how often should we be visiting the regional campuses?
That is a tricky question. The years that there was an effort to have Senate do something specific at regional campuses, like go out there for a town hall or have people there on campus to live stream this meeting, didn't go all at all. Which is why I think connecting with the existing things that are happening and the staff that is there is the best best route to go. Because they will know best when students are in classes, how to connect with them, which faculty you might want to talk to, like to go give a classroom presentation. And connecting with Pang to know when she's going to be out there, because when she shows up, people know there's food, there's events happening, there is community. So really, I think jumping on board with the existing things that are happening is going to be a lot more successful versus going to sit in an empty room to live stream the General Assembly meeting and then drive 45 minutes back home.
I will,
I've done that many times and I don't think we've ever had another student come. There were some times when a town hall happened hybrid over lunch,
yeah.
Right.
that there was some engagement at the regional campuses. It was tricky though to manage that hybrid setting. So I think it would be better to just fully be there in person when something else is happening to try to connect and get that feedback.
Yeah, yeah, that was, I would say, and I don't know, maybe Ellie's gonna disagree with this.
I can disagree.
But, no, I mean, disagree, I know what I'm about to say. There was one of the three, I think it was a 3-year plan idea when I started was regional campus engagement. And we had a specific Senator Rungy, Sheila, from Portage. She was always, I mean, she always had a report. Every time I called, she always had a report. She always had something to say. She was actively committee, doing stuff. And that was really cool to see. And that really, I really was inspiring. I mean, I think, I know I visited, but it was I tried taking as many people with me when I drove out there. But again, COVID kind of did a lot of damage to that ability to do that. And it made things really hard. But I think that all you can do is continue to try and you can continue to, again, include everyone. And again, it's going to be slow, right? It's not, but it's the effort that counts. And if you could do something with the regional campus engagement, I thought that was a great idea.
So one thing like that won't be done yet. With that, we will be bringing in the regional campus managers, most likely virtually to one of our Senate meetings. So you'll be able to meet all 3 of them. And then if you have additional questions, if you're asking, which are great questions, you can definitely talk with them then, because they are the best ones to connect with. I mean, that's how we ended up at Watertown to talk to the nursing students, is because the Watertown manager was like, hey, Cole, you have Senate people this day and times when they're most available. And we had a class and a half of all nursing students come into a meeting with myself and Senator Avila. So they'll be the people to talk to. That's what started our MOU talk of last year. So we will have them here just so that you all know.
Good to know. Thank you, Cole. This is all the time we have, but.
You know where to find us. We're in Student Life.
Yeah.
Every day.
They're around. Please say hi
Yes.
to Ellie Rome and Sean Green over here. Thank you all so much.
Have a good meeting.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you. Thanks, Sean.
There you go.
You know, but
Okay, that is all of our public comment from today. So we are going to move on to disclosures and recusals. Taking a moment. Anyone have any disclosures or recusals? Seeing no hands in person, I'll jump up at once. Nothing in the chat. So we're going to skip down to reports of officers, advisors, and standing committee. I mentioned earlier, we do not have a team building activity today. First, executive council and president report. President is fortunately detained in France. Detained by France. I did speak briefly on the exec council. Jose was present and shared some of his priorities. It's great to hear. His priorities are filling seats, regional seats specifically, getting representation from all the campuses is number one. Secondarily, filling all the seats just generally. And then kind of part and parcel with that project is getting the Senate logo, getting all of our faces, getting the student Senate, the student org out there more visible for people. So that's what is on his mind. I'm sure day and night there, in Europe. We had a brief report from our vice president. I wonder, should I summarize or would you like to speak?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Vice President Burt, would like to bring someone from public safety in to speak. Vice President Nichols, is making posters already to fill regional seats. We planned having Sean Green and Ellie Rome here. And hopefully we'll see more. That's all I have for Executive Council.
Thank you.
Moving on to Administration and Finance Committee. I have a short report. I'm now taking office hours and I think everyone here has done an awesome job doing meaningful Senate work and logging those hours correctly, thus getting compensated for your hard work. So thank you all. I have nothing more to say. That's it. We'll leave it there.
If you have to entertain questions.
Oh, well, any questions on that? You can see I'm already tired of this position. We're going to move on to the Legislative Affairs Committee. VP Burt, do you have a report?
Yeah, just real quick. We're talking about how to put together a public service announcement. I've been doing this with Public Safety Advisory Committee. The subject is understanding stalking on campus. And what we're looking at doing is using my script. I gave it to Cole right here. This was designed by the Electronic Media Copywriting course 241 at UW Whitewater to put out some sort of a public service announcement to kind of mirror what public safety has been doing, just to show ourselves as the Madison College 64 Student Senate. Also, the public speaker's name is First Lieutenant Cindy First Lieutenant Cindy Holmes. She is the Dane County Sheriff's Active Assailant Trainer. And I just wanted her to speak on behalf of how training helps keep our community safe, but also when those times are available for people. Just so if you want to take advantage of some of those community, if you see something, say something, workshops, that we know exactly where they are. And last, just real super quick, I'm just, getting into working with Cole, figuring out how to get into a routine and work with our committees. I just want to share and impress upon our committees just some simple things about fact sheets, how to write a public service announcement, how to do what I just did with Cole. Let's sit down in an interview with your committee members and take a flyer and just basically show how to, freehand put a script together so we can all keep moving forward with our reports and committees. That's all I got. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Are there any questions? Seeing no hands in the chat and no hands in person, I'm going to move us on to Public Relations Committee. VP Nichols.
Yeah, so I'll try to keep this brief. Firstly, I have put a link in the Teams chat that is for a form for the orientation fairs availability. I do ask that everyone fill that out. I know a couple of you have already given us that you want to be there. Still gonna ask you to fill it out just so we have a list of everyone. And then secondly, this is the fun part. I have created quite a few posters and stuff already. So as was mentioned earlier, those are also now in the team chat. Cole, if you want to, you can pull those up.
But I never know what this.
So I'll start on those while he works on that. There we go. So this first one here is going to be used for the orientation fairs. So obviously that's what it's going to look like. The QR code takes you to a survey that asks just basic questions on, interests, concerns, sort of general information that we'd like to gather from incoming students. Next on the list is these are the regional Senate posters that will be going up. So I have these. This is just the Goodman South one, but so I have these for each of our campuses to help us fill seats and everything. And if you scan that one, it just brings you to a general page of asking for all your student information as well as why you want to be a senator. Third and final one is we have a quarter sheet here. So these quarter sheets are just advertising the General Assembly meetings, asking people to come and see them. That QR code just brings you to our Wolfpack Connect page. We're trying to get students to actually come in and, observe or maybe even give their own public comments. And so we will have these around all campuses for the entire school year, just asking people to come in and speak or listen in on them. That is everything. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Good work.
Wonderful. Any questions? VP Nichols, see nothing in the chat once again. Thank you for your report. And advisor report.
Beautiful. So, I made an error with the agenda. So in the near future, if any of y'all want to make a motion to amend the agenda, I would be happy for that because I have it classified incorrectly. You'll see under non-business, call for nominations for the vice president of team development. That should be under unfinished business. I don't know why I moved it there on accident, so that's on me. So in the future, if you want to do that, that's no problem. Still not going to stop me from accepting nominations, but with that, I'll put it back. A couple of things, reports on my end. Next week, after we voted the vice president of team development, we will have the nominations open for the inclusion belonging coordinator, communications coordinator, and the Wisconsin student government governor. So those nominations will open them. As you saw when I sent out the email about those three positions, it said that you do have to fill out that form because that is your interest. You still have to be nominated though. You have to be nominated and accept from the floor here. So start talking with your peers if you do want to be nominated. Totally set for that. For those additional positions, so for inclusion, belonging, communications, and the WSG, so I'm just going to call them the big three. I should call them that, the big three. If you receive one of those, you cannot be the other two. That's how we kind of stop that monopolizing, also that over involvement aspect. So if you become the WSG governor, you cannot be the other two. We want to make sure that that balance of power is there and that we're not putting too much on one person's plate. So I just want to be very upfront with you all about that, that if you are passionate for one of those specifically, definitely talk with folks about that. Give me 1 second at the end, I got you.
Yes.
When I sent out the email to everybody on where you're at with our module trainings, that is not a reflection of me saying I'm mad at you. Some people thought it was. That's me just telling you we got to get caught up with it because we are about to open up module 7 and there's only module 7 and 8 left. And incomplete training, as well as wait until last minute to do it, will result in a hit to your stipend for the summer. It will. I'll just be honest with you. Please get those done. Please take the time to do so. If you're running into errors, some folks have told me they're having technical errors. I'm looking into that on my end. And we might just have to do something strategic with it because it's probably a cache or a cookie issue that's causing some of these technical problems. We'll figure it out though. I've been in contact with executive leadership for a variety of other things. And we will start inviting the president's cabinet next week. So next week, and we will start planning them out throughout the rest of the semester, which is why I sent a notice to our executive team and I will expand it to the entire GA after I hear from the executive team. That if there are individuals that you'd be interested in having attend as public comment for Senate, please let me know. We'll bring it to the E team. Ultimately, the E team, if we're going to ask someone to attend, they have to approve it. But if someone just, I'm gonna say, naturally approaches us and says, hey, I'd like to talk, I don't have any problem with that. We just want to be cognizant of our time though, because we can have a speaker at every Senate meeting. I don't know what will get done, but we can have a speaker at every Senate meeting. And lastly, please fill out your committee assignments. Those are due, I think they're due next week, Tuesday or Wednesday, because Thursday we're placing them all. We, as in the entire executive team, is going to sit down during our meeting and we're going to place everybody. So by the time we meet with Dr. Byrne on the 7th, you all will know what committee or committees you are a part of. And on the 7th, we will then do on the 21st, we will do the voting for the big three positions. A lot happening in this last month, but this is what we want to do to be set up for success when we get to September. Because probably at the next meeting or in 2 meetings, we'll have to talk about the 9/11 memorial event, because that is a large undertaking that we have to participate in. Do a lot at you. A lot of that's there. I'm really proud of what y'all are doing so far. I know Senate's name is already getting around because I've had prospective students already come in, ask for my business cards, and ask just about what Senate does. So somehow, some way, we are reaching students already, and that's without us marketing. All of our marketing stuff should be up in August. I can't confirm if we'll have stuff available for Wolfpack Welcome, but we'll have stuff at our table. So any student who walks by can see all of the items that we have. Questions?
Yes, when would be an appropriate time to nominate someone?
For the other positions,
The big three.
as soon as it opens. So when I call for nominations, we'll go in order. So like, we'll start like, I'll open nominations for this.
Okay.
I'll wait for responses. Then once that is, we're stalled out, then we can start the next process for that. But we won't close them until the day that we do the vote. And we'll do the vote in the same order of the positions that we open the nominations for, right?
Can we concede
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then yield? We can do that?
Yes, on like the day of.
Okay, cool.
Can you remind us of those start and end dates? To that,
For the other positions.
or no, for the big three?
Yep. So the day that we're gonna start the nominations will be August 7th.
Yeah.
So that'll be once Dr. Byrne is done speaking, once we've done the voting for the VP of Team Development position, we will open nominations for the big three remaining positions. We will then close those nominations in the same order on the 21st, so on August 21st, after our public comment then from Jesse, I forgot his last name. He's with IT. He wants to talk about cybersecurity, which is kind of cool. And then we will do our vote then. And at that point, also bring up an excerpt from our constitution, because there was bylaws, because there was an amendment made to our bylaws last year by the previous Senate about running uncontested in elections and allowing us to kind of speed up that process.
Okay.
I'll bring it up then though. But if you want to look at it, it's in our bylaws. Couldn't tell you where yet, but it's there. I remember that because we did that for quite a few other things.
Sure we could find it.
Whew, cool. Other questions? Awesome. Well, y'all doing a good job. Keep it up. And once the school year starts, we'll be hitting some things pretty good with our initiatives. So with that, I yield.
Okay, thank you, Cole.
No problem.
If there are no other questions for Cole on the big three or any of the other topics that we'll be addressing in August that he mentioned, then we will move on to reports from special and select committees. First, Student Activities Board. There has been no meeting since I last updated you about that. So there will be no report from myself or President Villarreal, obviously. I'm skipping over 3 vacant positions unless I see a hand raised from Senator Crowder or Senator Avila, because there is some new information going on.
Angel Black, just so you know.
Okay, thank you.
So, yep. So this would be, Annette, if you have anything from student parent support group or anything like that, we're happy to hear from you. Otherwise, we'll move on. Oh, says no, so we can move on.
Never
Thank you.
skip ahead. So we will move on to reports from regional and metro campuses. First, from the Reedsburg campus, Senator Sindar.
So I don't have report about my regional campus, but I have report outside of my regional campus. Can I do that?
Yeah, we can yield to that. So go ahead.
So today we collaborate with Center of International Education with the Corey. And we realize Center of International Education mission is support and welcome international students, create opportunity outside of USA for domestic students, and create global content. So we realize right now we have a space about advocate international students' rights. And we realize that together there. And I just want to report that. In future, we want to make some move or deals about it with Corey. And right now, I just want to inform you about it.
Yeah, awesome.
Thank you.
Good to know. Thank you for your work. Do you have any questions? Any other senators in the room? Do I hear something online?
Nope, you're good.
Okay.
I have a question, quick. When you said the international,
Center of International Education.
Yeah, the education. Is there a contact?
The best person to reach out to is the director, so.
Okay.
If you
Good
want to
stuff.
connect with them, we have a few others. The director is, but I know the director's getting ready to just go abroad.
Yes.
But yes, if you want to contact somebody, let me know and I can give you that contact person.
Okay.
And their office is open.
100%.
And I'm help to support if you need anything.
Of course. Same.
Perfect.
Cool, thank you.
Good.
Taking a moment and hearing nothing else on this topic, we will skip over the vacant position of Watertown Regional Senator to the Portage Regional Senator. That's Senator McCray. Senator McCray, do you have a report?
Briefly, I just want to touch on something I received today. There's the president is meeting with the just open office hours next week on Wednesday. If anybody wants to, he'll be there. I feel like it will be very important for me to connect with them in the next couple weeks. I'm going to try and establish I've already established a rapport with these people, as I've been going there, since 2023. So I know them pretty well, which is really great. I look forward to this year and working with all of you.
Thank you. Cool.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is about Dr. Byrne.
Yes, Dr. Byrne, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I said she, I meant Madam President.
Dr. Byrne mentioned when she spoke to the college district board that he was having 100 conversations with students during the month of August. I don't know exactly what that's going to shake out as.
So we're just gonna,
as a
all
campaign.
15, we're just gonna
Yeah,
go in there and we're gonna cut, what is that, like a fifth?
and we're all going to speak at once.
I'll speak at once, yes.
Yes, but so, yeah, she's out and about, hopefully having a lot of conversations, possibly behind closed doors, but behind open doors as well.
Yeah.
Hearing no other discussion, we will move past the vacant position of Fort Atkinson Regional Senator to the Goodman South Regional Senator.
Joaquin's not on,
Joaquin
but
is not present.
I know that, Senator Bauer, their main campus is Goodman South. So I guess we could yield if Senator Bauer has any updates about Goodman South.
This is true. Senator Bauer, do you have any news to share? No, that's all right, but we'd love to hear.
I
if there's
don't
anything.
currently have any news to share.
Okay, all good. Thank you very much. With that, we have finished reports from regional and metro campuses. We'll move on to reports from college assembly and shared governance councils. First, college assembly. I will speak to this. College assembly has not met since our last GA when I updated you all on their previous meeting. Moving quickly through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vacant positions. These are the positions we've been talking about filling for the last 2 weeks. I'm looking again in the chat because Annette sometimes knows what's going on with FPIC, and Angel sometimes knows what's going on with the Information Technology Council. But if I'm not seeing any hands raised to share new news, then I'm going to move on.
Can I talk about Information Technology Council, even I'm not inside?
Yeah, please go ahead.
So this week, I collaborate with Mr. Perry Govier, is an instructor in information technology. And I also he also speak with Tom Steele, is a coordinator. And we talk about the 2 program removal for international students. One of them is IT front-end development, and one of them IT web software development. And they tell me they don't know these programs are removed for international students. And when I explain about hybrid class, so beneficial for our visa status, they also surprised, and they said we are supporting hybrid classes. But I think that's not what they said. What I understand about our school policy. We are trying to do more online class so people from outside of the Wisconsin can attend. And it happened to more online class, less international students. And that's why we need to remove two programs. I collaborated them and I just want to let you know.
Okay.
Talking point, bring in Beth,
Yeah,
John.
thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you.
Beth, who,
Giles,
Giles,
co-host.
thank you. Hearing nothing else, on this topic or topics of any of the other councils, and I see nothing in the chat once again.
I did toss one thing in the chat, just letting a reminder of when FPIC is meeting, when their next campus visit is. I just still haven't heard
Thank
if it's gonna be Fort or Watertown or both.
Cool, yes, that's great. Wonderful, so if you want to stalk FPIC, look in the chat and then your friend here. Moving on to unfinished business. Cole, did you say that there was something that was supposed to be under unfinished business?
So the call for nominations for the vice president team development should have been under there because it's technically not closed. I put it in the wrong area though, but since we already approved the agenda, I don't believe we can amend it. So we'll just go through in the process.
We'll discuss it as listed.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not gonna make that error again. So I apologize for that error, everybody.
That's just fine. According to our agenda, we have no unfinished business. Moving on to new business. There are two presentations. Both of them have come out of the SGI, Student Government Institute, conference, hosted by the National Association for Campus Activities. This is a conference that myself and four senators plus an advisor attended exactly a month ago as of today. And we have some takeaways, some ideas, things to share. It was really impactful for all of us. And, oh, you're all in the room. Wonderful. If you're online, you're now looking at the beginning of a presentation that me and Corey will give. Would you want to step to the front of the room?
I told you about this picture. We're gonna use picture.
Nobody told me they were taking a picture.
That's great. I can go to that.
So,
At least you got my good side.
You wanna go on?
Just on the front there, it has an arrow forward. You can do that.
You guys got it.
Yeah, you feel it.
You can tell it's good time building.
Yeah.
I can tell that it'd be good packets and information.
So our audience is more people who attended than it is people who didn't attend. I suppose there's all the online people. So hello, online users. This is a picture of us, NACA Student Government Institute trip, June 24th through 27th, as I just stated. Go to the next slide. Thank you. This is just a little background about the Student Government Institute. It took place at Marian University in Indianapolis, beautiful campus. Brought together, I think, around 24 technical colleges and universities. It was an interesting split: state universities, private universities. Hosted at a Catholic school, and around half technical colleges. So a really interesting mix of different SGAs, student government associations. Learned that acronym while we were there. So yeah, it was us and a bunch of other analogous student senate. We got to talk about what they do and what we do, and the similarities and differences between our different schools. Move on. We're going to go over some of the topics that we discussed. We had small discussions and large group discussions, and these were all really thought-provoking. I think everything that me and Corey included in this presentation was really thought-provoking. Those are the things that we wanted to include now, obviously, for everyone who didn't get to attend. Hopefully, these topics will be thought-provoking right now. For everyone who did attend, This is just like a little refresher of what we were talking about a month ago. And maybe just a heads up, I'd like to keep talking about these things because I thought they were all important. Hopefully we'll bring them up during team building exercise and things like that. I could keep going and unless you want to hop in here, Corey.
Yeah, no, specifically for this slide, we took a day defining shared governance. And it was definitely interesting to see how different schools tackled shared governance and how they balanced it with admin and their relationship with admin, how that affected their overall impact through shared governance. So we're really, really, really lucky, or well, we're really privileged to have such a great relationship with admin. And it allows us to do a lot of impactful strides for our overall student body, tackling needs, passing bills, just taking those crucial steps and working with faculty a lot more seamlessly instead of having to jump over hurdles and having to walk on eggshells. We're able to really truly advocate for the student body in a way that many colleges don't. And it was just very eye-opening. And definitely allowed myself to be very grateful for what school I am a part of in terms of shared governance. MAPC just has something that's beyond like what we viewed in at that event. A lot of people were still taking a lot of baby steps, and we were well along. We do have things to improve on, like our outreach and our engagement, just as I mentioned before during the Q&A with LUL and Sean Green. But yeah, it is definitely something that we need to keep in mind. And we always should refer back to the definition of shared governance. You have a message. Speak up.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Cool. Yeah, the next slide. I was almost gonna say, we'll take that question at the end. Okay, our next topic we talked about was identity. And this was really interesting. So we asked ourselves questions and discussed of like, what are identities that we think about that we like look at people and you know, categories we put ourselves into and others that we think about often. What are some identities or backgrounds, maybe it's a different word to use, that we don't consider as often? Backgrounds or identities that we don't think about other people having or ourselves having. And maybe how do these like identities and backgrounds strengthen our, I guess this kind of rolled right out of shared governance, strengthen our ability to govern, our ability to be effective in what other projects we take on, or how might they be hindering us sometimes? Just thought-provoking, something I hope you can all think about kind of while we go through all these slides. You can go to them. Can I take this one too?
Yeah,
Okay.
go for it.
Yeah. I thought this one felt really important to me. Belonging. Some of the questions we started with during this section of the seminar were, what makes you feel like you belong in a space? What do you need to feel like you belong in a space? How do you communicate to other people? Do you communicate what you need to others? Is there a way for other people to communicate what they need to you? And this made me think a lot about how we as Senate can make sure all our senators feel included here. And also, how can we keep that door open so anyone else can step in and see what we do here? How can we make our space welcoming to people who are not part of Senate? Those were the most important things that I took away from our belonging section. Thank you, Sanjay. You want to take this?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So we discussed the difference between policy advocacy and public advocacy. We've done a lot in terms of policy advocacy in the previous, student senate, as at least for what I, just advocated and saw for myself. So a lot of bills being passed and a lot of resolutions, all great, amazing. But you have to have public advocacy as well. There has to be a balance. So without one or the other, things can tend to be a little bit misbalanced, because without policy advocacy, you may not have the guidelines or like a baseline or at least boundaries set that have clear and firm restrictions that are protecting students. And
They feed off of each other.
absolutely,
You need them both.
absolutely.
Do you want to define quickly?
Sure.
And-
Yeah.
And public and policy advocacy.
Yeah, absolutely. So policy advocacy is more done within systems. So when we're passing bills, when we're creating resolutions, those are examples of policy advocacy. We're taking steps to revise or create policies to advocate for our student body. Public advocacy is raising awareness and mobilizing support. So we're getting out there, engaging with the student body. We're able to take their voices and start to shift it into public policy advocacy. But without it, without truly engaging and touching up on our relationships with the student body, we can't effectively make like policy changes, like revising policies effectively in order to protect our student body and to think forward.
It goes back to shared governance.
Absolutely.
Trying to bring student body into the governance of this school. Yeah, they're all kind of connected, all these. Thank you. Followership, this one was interesting.
Yes.
This was about, in an organization, what does it take to effectively follow? And we talked about like maybe different ways that people follow, or like different strengths as a follower that people have. The different types of courage, the courage to serve, fulfill your role, the courage to protest, or to dissent against the leader. Courage to warn. Courage to warn.
It's you, yeah. There you go. Good. It creates a tunnel once it does that.
Okay, cool.
Literally.
Yeah, interesting conversation, about, the different ways that people follow and the different like skills that are like needed to be in an organization and not be the leader. And we kind of thought about like what ways that we are individually like good at, what ways we're maybe not as good at, stronger or weaker at, and maybe what roles like require certain strengths. More details that hopefully we can all get into. We got into as a group of 5+1, and hopefully we can get into as a wider student senate here more.
Okay. So when he was not here, he was
I had to-
student activity.
Yeah, I had to hop into SAB when they were putting together this advocacy campaign, but we put together, I say we, like I was all involved.
Participated.
It's we, I presented it. Not having helped make it. The other students who were here helped, or put together an advocacy campaign in a couple hours. And
Actually.
an hour and a half, excuse me.
Yeah, that was a time crunch.
Yeah, underselling you. Yeah, no, but it's like a fantastic stab at like exactly the things that we have here at Madison College Student Senate been talking about what we want to do.
Yeah.
Here it is.
So essentially, we touched up on why outreach matters. So essentially defining, okay, outreach engagement, especially with the regional campuses, that's within our 3-year plan. Student senates before us have had that and have timelessly worked towards getting there, but we haven't really we haven't been able to really connect with our regional campuses yet. So we're brainstorming, we're trying to get this together. And we're in a classroom, writing everything down, trying to think outside the box. In terms of getting outreach to our regional campuses, to TRUAC, student body, and refining our relationship with the overall student body. So essentially, we learned that at NACA, that meaningful leadership is built on connection. So without connection, you can't have meaningful leadership. You have to connect with your followers, with your body, especially if you're representing it, because what are you representing? So what we hope to achieve is greater student trust with Student Senate, more student-led initiatives based on real needs. So we don't want to assume student needs. That's happened in the past. We need to get out there and really take the steps and the strides to building connections and relationships with our student body, to actually define real needs in our student body. So we're prioritizing those instead of needs that aren't actually on the radar. So
I think we actually, right, I think Ashley might cover a lot of these.
yes, absolutely.
In the next presentation. Do you want to maybe leave some of the details to Ashley?
Absolutely.
I don't want to take her whole.
No, I don't want to dive too
You guys
specific.
can speak up a little bit more, like speak, like you're projecting into those mics there.
Okay.
Folks online just have a little hard to hear.
Okay.
Thank
Sounds
you.
good.
Rob?
Just get on the ladder and do the presentation.
Please, if you want to just take a step forward, right? Yeah. There you go. I'm just letting you know that means you don't have to be like, I want to look like this now as I talk, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Future. This is the last thing we did, like last morning or afternoon. Everyone was exhausted, but it's still really important, I thought, and really thought provoking. And hopefully we can share that with you. We sat down and talked about what do we want Student Senate to be 5 years from now? This Student Senate, 5 years from this setup. We're building the 64th Senate. How do we want the 69th to be? And how do we want the 64th to be remembered 5 years from now? And what do we need to think about? What do we need to start doing right now? If we to like get from where we are from point A to point B, if that makes sense. Figure out what our goals are 5 years in the future for this organization when we're no longer a part of it, and how can we build that momentum right now so that it gets there when even we're no longer a part of it. Yeah, and this may or may not appear in future team building activities. So maybe think about it. I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
Next.
Yes.
We're having fun. Yeah, to include that in the presentation.
Some of the other schools had
Thank
like
you for
school
that.
things, and what we started doing was, we'd say like, we had to introduce ourselves as with our school every time we say, I'm Quinn from Madison College, go Wolfpack, and then everyone else who was there would.
And we use lots.
Creating.
Yeah, so if there's one good takeaway.
Yeah, go Bears.
Go Bears.
Go Bears.
Go Bears.
So thank you all for listening. That's all we have.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Before Ashley starts, is there gonna be any like discussion or questions about this? We'll take questions, or like if you just have any thoughts about it, or if someone who's there wants to share something about it. I'm gonna look at people online or in the room who were not present for SGI first.
I'm responding to it, thinking in the chat.
You're good. Is there anyone in the chat who wants to?
No.
Okay.
No.
That's fine.
But one caveat I want to give, go, come on up.
Cool beans.
If you are continuing with Senate into next year, highly advise, considering if you can attend SGI. The student, obviously the senators and Quinn, the VP, the odd man out for some reason. We'll tell you it's positive, but from the advisor perspective, your ability to connect with people is huge. And I'm still following up with other advisors from schools across the country about stuff that we're doing. So even if it's for like a mutual networking thing, it's a great opportunity. So definitely consider it. This is my first time ever attending something like this. It was pretty legit.
And I will share the presentation on SharePoint as well.
Yep.
Because it has a lot of great information that we didn't touch up on. We wanted to be brief, so Ashley could have plenty of time.
Thank you. Corey.
Could I just add one more thing?
Yeah.
I learned so much not only about what it is to serve on student government, but I mean, I'm very, very active even in my own town's government, but it was a great experience because it really, it makes you think about your position and what we do introspectively. And I was exhausted in a great way. Like, I learned a lot and I had a lot of fun doing it, even though I knew a lot of the people and a lot of the colleges didn't have as much power as we do. I was still able to take, and I'm also still networking with the people in my individual group. And they're reaching out to me, and that's great. I really encourage anybody, if you're serving on Student Senate, go. It was a great experience.
Thank you for John. I also encourage everybody who wanna attend for next year. It's a great opportunity. We improve our bond between us. We learn a lot of new things. We improve our leadership skills. But most importantly, I understand the value of my school. Madison College is a great school. Like, we have power in the good way. And I can give one quote about one peer, or I can say girl from Texas, told me, "You guys are so lucky. Your school give you a lot of value. They even pay you. I think they are not taking payment. And they even bring you here as an international student." That was very emotional for me. Thank you. Thank you for giving us that opportunity.
Thank you.
100%. Awesome. I shared your thing in the chat, so I'll just say no.
Thank you.
Yep.
Also, one thing about SGI, I also had a very, it was such an honor to be able to not only go, but bond with all the other senators that attended as well. And learning not only like so much that you can do for your Senate, but also learning things about yourself and your friends. And implementing those ways in your own life and sharing those values and information with other people. Because there were so many different groups of people from around the United States going, you were able to get like totally different perspectives that you couldn't get just here. So it was really cool to learn and just, like talk to other people and communicate, build those like connections and stuff. But anyways,
100%.
so I put thank you, Cole, put a student senate outreach and advocacy sheet. I will talk about that at the end. There's a lot of stuff, but I'm gonna go ahead and get started on this presentation that I made. This is like just talking about the outreach and advocacy ideas that we kind of learned at SGI. My presentation doesn't really talk too much about SGI because Corey and Quinn and everyone who participated creating that did a really fantastic job talking about it. And I kind of don't want to be a repetitive human being. So you're welcome. So
Thank you.
the importance of outreach and advocacy. So that outreach is kind of what we do to convince the student body of our utility and how we can receive the wants and needs of the students. And advocacy is how we can turn that, what the students need or have concerns with, into that policy and action that can really impact their lives. By implementing the ways for students' voices to reach us effectively, we can more accurately understand what students have concerns with and how we can properly assist them. Because we are Student Senate, we have the power to make significant change, not just to Truex, but to all 6 campuses, and really build that connection between Student Senate and the students and also faculty. And we can help build a strong community at METC where we can create productive, meaningful communications that can change how students interact and participate within their continuing education. Cool. Creating visibility. So one of the goals that I really wanted to bring, or just like bringing up that visibility, The goal of this increased visibility is to make students more comfortable presenting their concerns and more knowledgeable about whom they can present those concerns to, while also increasing awareness of our student senate. So really kind of, putting ourselves out there more by being by tabling, by doing more events, which I will go into in a second here. A couple of the ideas that I had for it was posting posters either online or in person about each of the senators, so that way we can really show who our senators are, especially at the regional campuses, so they can physically put a name to a face. That will really help them. And also generating better public outreach by celebrating the students. And what I mean by this is really kind of talking about how when students are bringing their concerns, I think it was Ellie or Sean brought up, I think it was Ellie actually talking about following up and really like making it personal, saying thank you so much for bringing this concern to us. We want you to know we're following up with you because we brought this to a different person, or we were able to help you in some way. I feel like that will also help really build build a gap between it. Not build a gap. You guys know what I mean.
Bridge the gap.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Corey.
Bridge.
Another one, collaborating with the administration to help amplify new ways that the college is helping students and facilitate a better student experience. That's a huge one. Again, it's really cool that Ellie and Sean were here explaining it, because this kind of ties into going into the regional campuses and talking to the administration. Again, I'll continue talking about that in a second. Increasing visibility by being more present in the school community by collaborating with clubs and organizations in order to build a synergistic relationship to reach more students. And so again, with this, it's all about, student senate collaborating and discussing with clubs and organizations and figuring out not what we can just do, but how we can help them, so that way we can work together to not only bring more stuff to student senate, but also kind of not only put ourselves out there, but really start showing up and showing that we care by doing that. Thank you. Okay, so a few ways of improving our process by addressing the students' concerns. So one of the ideas that I had that I'd like to talk about today is implementing a data system that documents the feedbacks that have been brought, that students have been bringing to Senate, by providing a record which can or cannot be, I probably assume anonymous, for privacy reasons, but having a record of all the feedback and all the concerns that students have with Senate specifically, we can really document that and not only have a more organized way, but we can make sure that we're following up with the students. And then also providing that record for the following year's Senate, so that way the Senate knows exactly what concerns students have been bringing to Senate. So that way it kind of helps, that communication a little bit. This is a random one, didn't know where to put it. So this is what I thought of. So we have a student Senate office that's really awesome. We're able to, talk and build things in there and really kind of make a difference. And we have this beautiful giant glass wall that it's right there. It's in a trafficked area, you know what I mean? So one thing that I was thinking about is putting a kind of more information right there. This is the student senate office. This is what we have done. This is what we're doing right now. And these are the things that we will be working on in the future, or however we want it to go. That way we can, again, be more physical about it, showing students hey, we're here, please come talk to us. You know what I mean? And so these ones right here, can't you tell I've been doing presentations for a long time?
For sure.
So visiting the regional campuses each semester. This was a huge one that we were talking about because the regional campuses in particular don't get a lot of, it's more difficult because they're in more rural areas. We can not only help the students there, but we can also be really helping our regional senators by taking informative tours of the campuses and collaborating and creating that those fun, effective ideas in order to help. One thing I'd like to add here, I think it might be a really interesting idea if every senator did a tour of a regional campus
either each semester or probably each semester. That way everyone can get a good idea, because we can only know so much by what regional centers tell us, but if we're looking towards them, if we're helping them in any, like helping the administration and learning more, being present in that area, I think will make a huge difference. Okay, so this is the sheet I gave you guys. So in order to create, I think in order to really, again, put Senate out there to know that we care. So senators, one idea that I had, actually I was discussing it with VP Flynn about it. I think it might be a really good idea for senators to be tabling at least 1 hour a month. That way we can really be putting our faces out there and building meaningful connections with the students. And this will also be where we can be advocating and saying, hey, this is what's going on in our Senate right now. This is what's going on our campus. We want to be informing you guys. That way all the students have a better idea of what's going on. And yeah, I'm not going to go too much into these because I gave you all like a paper of ideas. I already kind of talked a little bit to VP Nichols about it, but if you guys have any questions or comments or concerns, please let me know. This is a huge thing that I want to be working on this year, is really helping that outreach to help build a better relationship with the student body. And so, yeah.
Thank you. Any questions
Oh yeah, any questions?
for Sandra Larson?
I just have like
Go
a
ahead.
brief comment.
She's
So like,
invisible.
just for a grand view of your total hours, you're expected 2 hours per week, 1 hour a month could be tabling. Like, that's pretty doable, I would say, and it's fun. I mean, these are great ideas and they're very creative and very fun, engaging. I feel like a lot of conversations that you'd be having would be definitely very fulfilling. So, and instead of just sitting in the office alone, hoping that somebody comes walking through your door.
100%.
Yeah, I think just being engaging with the student body.
And 17 Senate members, assuming we don't even fill more seats, each tabling once a month on a unique day. That's tabling every other day or then.
I don't know the math, but yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
You're there. We have a question online from Senator Crowder.
Senator Crowder?
So, I guess I'm wondering will this replace town halls at all? And what about our initiatives to go out and meet people where they're at by attending the club meetings?
I would.
I'll talk about the town hall. You guys talk about your club meeting. I'll talk about the town hall.
This would supplement.
Yeah.
In the way we've talked about it so far, this would be additional.
Yeah, it would be additional, and that way we can kind of, what would you say, create that that presence in a way.
So this would not.
I guess I was just
Go
gonna
ahead.
say, then I guess I would advocate for maybe doing a rotation of 1 day a week or something, and figuring out how this does not fall upon a few people. Just because there's been problems like that in the past. I guess that's my only comment. I'm not against anything. Anyone who knows me will tell you that if I'm available, I'm there. But I just don't want it to become cumbersome. Or we're not meeting some of our other goals of what, trying to meet with the clubs. And I found that really impactful. I met a lot of people that way by going to the club meetings and just participating in their meeting and doing their activity with them. So I just wanted to make that comment.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, we haven't ironed out maybe the logistics of this, or how this would be implemented. I totally agree. We don't want this to be lopsided. I think there's also need to find, we're not gonna have Ivan come down to table at Truax. It's just not gonna happen. So, yeah, the details have not been ironed out, but all of the things you just brought up, everything we've talked about for the last few minutes, these are all, this is all the stuff we need to iron out those details at a future date.
100%. So yeah, student club, this would not replace anything with student clubs. So I advocate for each and every one of you to at least attend one individualized, unique club meeting at least per semester. So as long as we're not doubling, tripling up on one club, if we all can get out to one club, I'm meeting with some of the club advisors to talk with them about their club's initiative. So hopefully I can get that to you all as well. But this is something additional with that, as we did see success when tabling through the variety of other things that we kind of did over the last year. Town halls. This is actually a question that we were going to address in one of our first meetings in September, but I'll preface it now. We're not going to discuss it now. So historically, our town halls, so the Student Senate town halls, were a one-day, one-time event. It was like 4.5 hours long. We provided food and we did everything possible to get people where they were to come into a room and speak with us about their concerns. So that way we could market the crap out of it. We were there set to go. Last year, because of, I'll say, a lack of schedule availability, we went to this tabling format like you're mentioning. We did that for a week period in which everybody had to table for at least an hour during that week period. If we find that this is beneficial and we want to continue with aspects like this, we can definitely do it. It would, in the end, it could replace what our town hall was. As my understanding, as I looked at it, our town halls were only successful after we had done everything, but on the day of the event, we were having to pull people in. I asked Ellie specifically when the most attended town hall was, and it was when everyone said it was available and it wasn't students coming to you, you had to like literally get students into the room. So there wasn't a draw for it. So this could continue to supersede that in terms of the collection of concerns and interests of the students in this time period. And one way we could circumvent it, again, as we iron out details, every single senator, you have to meet with me once a month for that time. Better yet, I can find an hour during that same month, during that same day that you talk about, that I could have you at the table, right? Like, I'm not worried about the scheduling part. We can get that set, but Senator Crowder is correct, and this is where the accountability comes in, and you all holding each other accountable if you're going to show up in the data. So, just something I want to put out there for that, because we haven't talked about town halls yet. And truth be told, we have to decide what we're going to do with this first, because this could supersede what the town hall actually intended, and we can be doing this on a consistent basis. So that's all I want to throw out there.
Thank you, Cole.
All right, are we into the next part now?
Yeah. Yes, that was both of our presentations. There's no other discussion to be had. Then we will speak, surprisingly, under non-business about calls for nominations for Vice President of Team Development.
Yep, so the floor is still open. It will close next week after Dr. Burns speaks, and then we will go into our Q&A and vote, which I will include those instructions and steps next week. I'm not going to do it right now. But the floor is open right now, so nominations never closed. They are still open. So we'll entertain any nominations at this time for folks who nominate someone for the Vice President of Team Development position. We do have one that has been nominated and accepted, and that is Senator Surtzel. So we are open for any others.
Don't all speak at once.
Senator Crowder, you have your hand up?
Yes, I don't know if Evan had decided he was gonna accept, if he was willing to accept the nomination or not. So I'm renominating him to see if he is.
Okay, thank you very much. So Senator Sullivan Richards, you have been nominated.
Would you like me to speak on this real quick, or?
Yes, please.
Cool. Okay. So funny enough, Annette, I was actually just drafting you a response. But me and Cole had kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, And I just have a couple reservations, I guess, jumping into a position like that. So I really appreciate it. I'm immensely flattered, but I will respectfully decline.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Not a problem.
I'll leave it open. Any other nominations at this time? Again, it will close next meeting, and once it closes next meeting, whoever's out there, y'all are the ones running for it.
Can nominations only be made at this meeting and next, or if someone?
Once nominations close,
Can someone email you during the week?
Sure.
Or during the 2 weeks?
so can someone email me nominating somebody? Is that what you're saying? Or can someone email me saying that they're interested?
Nominating.
I'm gonna have to defer. Annette, do you know by chance about that? My understanding is that the nomination would have to be made, nominated and accepted during this meeting because it's under open meeting law.
Okay.
That is my assumption. Bert, do you have any insight on
No,
that?
back when I ran for, governor, or excuse me, general senator, when I first came to Madison College, we had this issue come up. And it was, no, you have to be at least at the 3 meetings to be eligible to go through that nomination process.
Correct. Do you know though, can nominations be made and accepted in a virtual format when we're not in session? You know that by chance?
I don't think so, because.
I don't believe so either. So if they do email saying they'd like to be nominated,
Come to the meeting.
even if they send it to like the Senate 25-26, they would still have to be nominated at, during the meeting is taking place for it to be official.
Okay.
That is my interpretation of it. Annette, I'll defer to you.
That's mine as well. So if there's
Okay.
anyone that's interested, they should voice now so that someone can nominate them.
100%. All right, I'm gonna leave it 5, 4, 3. Okay. At this point, I will not accept any more nominations. Currently, we're not closed, but we're gonna move on to our next topic.
Okay. Curious if Cole knows the other numbers, but after calls for nomination for vice president of team development, we'll be moving down to complete your office hours and log them via the office hour log.
Housekeeping point, right?
Okay, yes. We are in housekeeping. I'm sorry, I forgot that. Everyone, please complete your office hours and log them via the office hours log. I think every single senator who's listening to me right now has done that already. So if you can hear my voice, thank you very much for what you're doing. I appreciate it. It's seen, it's noted. Please continue doing good work, and marking it down. Thank you all. Moving on to committee ranking reminder. Cole, what is this?
Yeah, so thank you for asking. This is my reminder that you do need to submit your information to me for committee ranking. I'm going to pull up my email here real quick. I don't know if I have, I think I sent it from the Senate one, so.
Yeah, my sunglasses are on.
Yeah, I was just gonna check and see, but essentially, at this time, committee rankings are due, I believe, next week, Wednesday. Don't hold me on that. I'll send you all the follow-up email with it. It's first come, first served. So we have had a good chunk of people do it already. So if you're submitting it after that, just know you may not get your first or second choice. If you do not submit anything, we're randomly gonna place you. I'm just gonna be honest with you. So standing committee wise, you will be randomly placed. Any additional stuff beyond that, if all of our other positions and shared governance stuff is all filled, you're going to be placed on a second standing committee. It is a privilege for us to serve on the shared governance councils. And so that's why the individuals who are showing initiative to fill us out, I'm not going to lie, are rewarded for that initiative because we want individuals who are going to be able to participate and be present in that because you never know how long you have to be participating in that until they take it away. Not foreshadowing that they are, but you never know. So get it done, please. I don't want to harp on anyone else. Since everyone else would ask me, when do committees start? Here's your chance to get this done so that we can get you in committee. Kevin.
And in the same vein, I just want to put it out that more generally, involved in this student organization and in school generally, if you ever want to be involved, oftentimes you have to ask. You have to say, I would like to take part in this. Is there some way I can take part in this? The worst that can happen is there's not room. And the best thing that could happen is you get exactly what you're looking for. So please ask if you want to be involved in things. That is the last of our non-business housekeeping. We're moving down to announcements. Final lap. Our next meeting will be on Thursday, August 7th in Truax Main Building, room C2402 at 4:30 PM, the exact same time and place as this meeting. Once again, President of Madison College, Jennifer Byrne, will be coming to Senate to speak with us at that GA 2 weeks from today. Please complete lesson number 7, the Bright Face course. And after adjournment of this meeting, please stick around for a brief discussion of lesson number 6 and some parts of 4 and 5 from that Bright Face course. If nothing else, I would like to entertain a motion to adjourn if there is no discussion on those.
Can I ask a
Hearing
question
none. Yes,
before
you
we
may, of course.
move to adjournment? Are we going to possibly submit questions to the exec team that
You
can
may
be
very well
consolidated and
do that.
asked to Dr. Burns, just so that we're, I don't know, putting off a more professional appearance and consolidating questions that are similar?
If you have questions that you would like to submit, that you would like as part of the discussion, yes, please send them to me. Should I take those?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, please send them to me. You can CC Cole, or the Senate email. I guess it looks like he's really excited to hear. And this doesn't just go for Annette, this goes for everyone. If you're like, I
Yeah.
hope we talk about this thing, then please let us know. We will be, somewhat planning the discussion, talk about what direction we want to take it and how we want the tone to be at the next executive council meeting. If you have any notes, that the other VPs should discuss at the next, EC, send me an email between now and then, please, next 7 days. Thank you. Are there any other questions? Seeing a lot of shaking heads in here. I'm seeing nothing in the chat once again. Do I have, a motion for adjournment?
I second.
I have a first, I have a second.
Oh, yes, if I do.
Oh, I have a first by Senator Sanjay.
Yep.
I have a second by Senator Corey.
Thank you.
And I would like to entertain a motion. But I'm sorry, I can't.
There you
remember
go.
today.
So, we'll adjourn through a vote of unanimous approval.
Okay, yes, I'd like to adjourn this meeting through unanimous approval. So if you would like to dissent, please voice it now. Otherwise, we will adjourn in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.